What's going on, YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Batman Urban Legends #1. Now, this is a very interesting book because it is, in fact, an anthology book. So, with this anthology book, we're going to have, how many stories? 1, 2, 3, 4 different stories in here. It's about like 70 pages, give or take. And there's one absolutely outstanding Red Hood storyline in this book. The other 3 storylines are okay, but the Red Hood thing is, oh my god, this is like one of the best Jason Todd stories I've read in a long time. I mean, this should be the start of a new Red Hood book. It's that good. I mean, wow, that's all I have to say about this Red Hood storyline in this thing. So, again, that one was written by Chip Zdarsky, and I've never really read anything that they've written before, but I've heard really good things about them for their work at Marvel. I don't really read any current Marvel comic stuff, but this is the Jason Todd stuff I like to see. I mean, I like some of Red Hood and the Outlaws, but it's nice to have like a new writer writing Jason Todd, because it's just been Scott Lobdell for so freaking long now, and it's nice to have a new writer take Jason Todd in like some really fascinating and interesting directions, like really kind of tapping into, like, because Jason Todd definitely has a heartfelt side to him, but there's also like a real gut punch in that storyline. I almost don't want to spoil it and just suggest that you go out and read Batman Urban Legends just for the Red Hood storyline alone, because it's that good. I mean, wow, that's sad. The other stuff, there's a Harley Quinn one, which is very short, and it's just kind of, and the stuff with Black Lightning is also very short. And then the last one is the Grifter one, which, you know, it's just kind of Grifter wandering around, being that typical kind of like action movie douchebag character, kind of like a Guy Pearce Lockout, or kind of like a bit of a like an Ash Williams in the Evil Dead Army of Darkness thing, where he's just, you know, cocky, arrogant son of a bitch, but he's always kind of like down on his luck and, you know, making, you know, various comments about the stuff and so on and so forth. So anyways, let's go ahead and go through each issue. Again, I will leave some timers in like I'll leave like a little timestamps in the description for like spoil, I don't know, like of like the Red Hood storyline, because I really do think you should read it before checking out the rest of this video. That's all I gotta say about the Red Hood one. The other ones, I don't mind spoiling so much, because I think they're just kind of okay, but the Red Hood stuff is really good. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So again, the first story is Red Hood and Batman in Cheer, part 1 of 6, and oh my god, I can't wait to read the rest of this thing. Then we have Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy in New Roots, which is just kind of like a brief little like backup one-shot thing. So they seem to be doing a lot in the backups and the one-shots, so they got a lot of stuff packing in these issues nowadays. And then we have The Outsiders and The Caretaker, part 1 of 3, which again feels kind of abruptly really short. I kind of wish that was a little bit longer for me to kind of get my bearings of where we're at in the story. And then we have Grifter and the Long Con, parts 1 of 5. And the Grifter one's kind of the, like, god, I just want a Red Hood storyline with the Zdarsky thing. Like, I just want that. Like, the rest of the stuff is just kind of there. But anyways, so this is the Red Hood one. As it opens up, Jason Todd is going down, hunting down people, not necessarily killing. One of his compromises he mentions while he's working in Gotham is to use rubber bullets. He's like, okay, I'm not going to kill while I'm in Gotham. It's his only compromise, is he makes sure he uses rubber bullets. And he's trying to find a drug called, like, what is it, Cheer Drop or whatever it is. And because, you know, people are kind of getting really, it's called Cheer Drops. And basically addicts end up trapped in this state of craziness, coming down on like their best hallucination. We find out later on that it ties into the Scarecrow, who Batman says has died, because again, this is tied into like the whole Arkham thing, where in the Infinite Zero, where everyone thinks all these different criminals were killed, like Bane and Scarecrow and all that. So it's tied into the Scarecrow, which, as we know, the Scarecrow was in Batman 106, and we saw that he was also pulling some of the strings in Infinite Frontier #0, where he has some ties with the Magistrate and stuff, and now he has some ties with Nakano, it seems, there's a lot of stuff, moving pieces going on in these various Batman books for a real larger story involving the Scarecrow. Scarecrow seems to me like he's going to be the big thing going on in all these Batman books in some way, except for the Robin one. I think the Robin one's going to kind of be his own separate thing, but it's cool to see all the Batman titles kind of really tied into each other. So anyway, Jason Todd's trying to stop some drug dealers. We also get some interesting flashbacks with Jason kind of as a kid. We see Alfred here, and boy, this makes me really miss Alfred. And Jason just kind of just frustrated because he wants to go out on patrol. He goes in through the Batman stuff, and he finds a secret room, and he sees that there's guns there. And this is kind of shocking to him because he idolizes Batman, and Batman's always telling him guns are the coward's weapon. And we see kind of like a side that he wasn't supposed to see, like, what are these guns doing here, Batman? And Batman's like, I have to master everything and I have to understand them, but we don't use the guns. Like, I know how to use them, I understand them, and, for forensics and stuff, but we do not use guns. Those are coward's weapons. Now, excuse me while we go through our long-range knives. And he's like, Jason. And, of course, Batman's going off there. He's trying to find the same things. Again, Batman hasn't confronted Red Hood just yet. Jason's there, and we get one of the most gut-wrenching things in this whole issue, where Jason's trying to find out who the seller is of these teardrop thugs, and he goes into this home, and he finds a kid with his mom who just OD'd. Now, this is kind of a gut-wrenching thing for Jason Todd, because, his mom was an addict too. Jason Todd's trying to, he sees that her pulse is pretty much done, that she's in a coma and kind of OD'd. He's trying to keep the kid calm. This kid is scared. He's terrified. This kid named Tyler. And again, this is some of the stuff with Jason Todd I love to see, because Jason Todd isn't just all angst. He does have, a heart to him. And he's trying to keep this kid calm. He's trying to be really, there for this kid. Honestly, maybe he's going to even adopt him. But then again, the stuff that happens at the end of this issue, that's going to cause, there's some really fascinating character stuff they can do with this thing. Because this kid's got, his deadbeat mom, his deadbeat dad, and his dad we find out, is just a really awful person. And the thing that happens with him and Jason, my goodness. But again, please read this before checking out the rest of this thing. I'll leave little time markers in the description of the video, because again, I don't want to ruin this thing for you, because it's really good. So anyways, he's there. He takes the kid with him, trying to keep him safe. He contacts Oracle, and he's just like, look, we have a kid here. His mom OD'd. I'm going to keep him safe for the time being. Batman's out there. He's investigating. This is where we find out it's kind of tied into the Scarecrow with this drug. Barbara even tells Bruce that, Jason's on the same thing. Batman's like, he's a killer, Barbara. I got to do this thing alone. We even get more flashbacks there of Batman and Alfred, kind of touching on their relationship and kind of where the issues come up with Jason Todd and Batman. And because Batman's stubbornness, Alfred's like, look, we both failed Jason, but Bruce Wayne has to save Jason Todd. And Batman's like, but he's a killer, Alfred. I have to stop him. So there is a real complicated relationship between Jason and Bruce and even Alfred there. But it's all really fascinating, told in a really fascinating, unique way. Then we see Jason here. He's got this kid here. And we get the softer side. And he's just like, hey, look, if something goes wrong, just say, Oracle, I need help. What's your superhero name? And Jason's like, I'm the Red Hood. He's like, then I am the Blue Hood. And again, really sweet, touching moment with the art. Really showcases kind of that softer side of Jason. And again, Jason's going in there in this warehouse. He's like, all right, I'm going to find this kid's dad. He ends up finding the dad. And the dad is an awful human being. He's just like, kid was a pain in the ass. Him and his fucking mom honestly don't give a shit if he lives or dies. Kid was a whiny. And this just makes Jason snap. And he crosses a line and kills this guy. So this kid that Jason's been protecting the whole time, he's being soft to, he kills his deadbeat dad, right there in the street, even though he knows that this is the kid's dad. And again, the kid just pretty much lost his mom on drugs. And he also, Jason just snapped, because he's like, how can you treat your child this way? This poor innocent child whose dad just awful, and then the mom is bad. And Jason just snaps, and he's just like, oh God, the kid, what have you done, Jason? Holy shit. That's part 1 of 6. My God, this first section here, again, this is pretty much the length of an entire issue, is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Chip Zdarsky, I can't wait to see what he does next with Jason Todd, because this is really, really good. Put him on a Red Hood solo series ASAP. In terms of a first issue, it's, again, I'm thinking this just as its own little Red Hood solo issue. absolutely amazing. Like the directions you can take this thing in. What a really bold, dark, sad, heartwarming first part of a story. This is some good stuff. Like, this could make for something really compelling, and I can't wait to see what Chip Zdarsky has up his sleeve in the next couple parts. You know, the rest of the issue of Batman Urban Legends, it's all okay stuff, nothing that really compelled me or anything like that, but this first one is unbelievable. And then it all kind of goes downhill after here. Nothing bad or anything like that, but like the bar has been set unbelievably high. I almost wish they would have saved this one for last because it's that good. But yeah, so absolutely outstanding. The next bit is a really kind of short storyline that kind of deals with flashbacks and flash forwards kind of Harley Quinn moving into like a new place, trying to get her roots down. She's flashing back and reminiscing to her times with Ivy. They have kind of like this flirty relationship going on here. They even kiss at one point, and you know, she sees a gift that Ivy had given her, and she's trying to put down like her own little roots and get herself settled here. She talks about how she misses Poison Ivy, and then it says to be continued in the pages of Harley Quinn and Batman. So apparently we're getting a Harley Quinn and Batman book. I can't remember like what month this thing's supposed to come out, but we're gonna get it. So that's what's up. If you're looking forward to that, again, this is an okay thing. There's a nice kind of like softer, like kind of sadder moments with Harley Quinn reminiscing about her past, just kind of missing people around her. And that's kind of like the theme I'm noticing with a lot of the Batman books. Like the family this is a broken family. Again, I wouldn't really consider Harley Quinn part of the Batman family, but like just kind of the universe around Batman just feels kind of broken a little bit right now. There's been some mending of some relationships, but it feels like there's no sense of unity. Like they all need to kind of come together for once. And again, Joker War felt like we're going to kind of get that, but again, Damian was kind of off doing his thing, and you just kind of feel like you're just waiting for the Bat family to kind of come together and, you know, just seem like they're happy for a little bit. And even Harley Quinn's just kind of the same way, where she's kind of lonely and off doing her own thing, and she's kind of sad. So I'm intrigued to see where it goes from here with her story. But the next thing is a Black Lightning one, and I'm not really exactly sure what's fully going on in this thing. It's him and Katana. Again, I love Batman and the Outsiders by Brian Edward Hill. That's a really good series that I recommend checking out. It was one of the best Batman books going on for a while. But again, it's kind of dealing with their little dynamic. Something happens to Katana. There's someone named Metamorpho. Black Lightning is kind of in this building, which has a face on it. Is that Metamorpho? I'm not really familiar with the character, so I'm kind of a little bit lost here. But it's so short and so brief. The artwork is nice. And again, I like seeing Katana and Black Lightning work together because I really like Batman and the Outsiders. So I am hopeful that the rest of the storyline picks up in the next two parts, but it just feels kind of short. Like, I wish this was a little bit longer. Maybe if they took out the Harley story or the Grifter thing, maybe this could have been a little bit more interesting. But we'll see where it goes from here. Again, we got several more issues of this thing going on, so there's that. The last story is the Grifter one, and I thought this one was just kind of okay. I'm not really too familiar with Grifter as a character as I am with, say, like a Jason Todd or a Black Lightning or Harley Quinn or pretty much all the other characters in this book. But Grifter, or was it Cole Cash is his name? It's just kind of him wandering around doing his little stuff. He's watching Lucius Fox. He's just there. As I was saying before, he's just kind of like this typical movie, like, asshole, like, main character that you'd see. Well, like I said, like a Guy Pearce in a Lockout, or like an Ash Williams, where he's an asshole, but he's still kind of our hero. He just makes remarks about himself. He just kind of like shits on himself, says, quippy one-liners, and, he's kind of a drunk, or he's kind of like a screw-up, but he's still our lovable hero type deal. That's pretty much him in this issue, just kind of wandering around doing stuff. That's pretty much most of it. He runs into some Batman villains like Penguin, Mrs. Freeze. Nora Freeze is there because, remember, in Detective Comics she became like Mr. Freeze, but she kind of turned evil. That was back in Year of the Villain, I believe. Wow, that's a long callback there. I kind of forgot about her. He runs into Batman. Batman kind of kicks his ass a bit. We see the next day he's working with Lucius Fox. He's at Wayne Enterprises. He's trying to get some security intel and trying to figure some things out. Not sure fully what's going on there. Then elsewhere, we see a crime scene. Nightwing shows up. Batman's there too. And they find that Nora Freeze is dead. Wait, what? Nora Freeze is dead? I'm not sure what's going on here. If you're going to kill Nora Freeze, you better damn well have Mr. Freeze near around, because, like, if she's just kind of abruptly dead, like, for whatever reason, I guess that's kind of the mystery that we're going to unfold, but Nora Freeze is dead? I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like Nora Freeze should die in a more interesting fashion than just being found dead. What about Penguin? What about the other villains? Like, why Nora Freeze? I like the stuff with Mr. and Mrs. Freeze where they seem to be kind of like villains working together at some point. I thought that was kind of interesting back in Detective Comics, but if you're just going to kill her off like that, I'm kind of disappointed. Like, I feel like there's a lot more worth exploring with her character, like, as this kind of evil version of herself, as like a Mrs. Freeze, but I guess not. So yeah, so Nora Freeze is dead because reasons. I guess it felt like we're missing pages, so we'll find out, I'm sure, as the storyline goes along. But the Grifter storyline, yeah, it's just kind of okay. Nothing all that interesting. I feel like it's kind of the weak point of this book. Nothing terrible or anything like that. The artwork is nice. There's, I guess, some funny quips and stuff going on with Grifter, but nothing truly amazing, if I'm being honest. But in terms of the other stuff, Black Lightning one's fine. Wish I got a little bit more with that one, but I'll just have to wait for the other parts. Harley Quinn one's kind of the same deal, where it's just like, yeah, this nice little thing, just kind of a little teaser for the next thing with Harley. The Red Hood storyline is absolutely amazing, and the sole reason to pick up this book, because everything else around is just fine, but that Red Hood stuff is just probably the best Jason Todd, like, base storyline we've gotten in a really long time. Yes, a lot better than Three Jokers, a lot better than Red Hood and the Outlaws. It's just some really good stuff. So I'm excited for what Chip Zdarsky's got next. The other writers, we had Stephanie Phillips as the writer for the Harley and Poison Ivy. Yeah, that was fun. It was fine. I'm interested to see what that Batman and Harley Quinn book's going to be like. Again, more Batman. The Outsiders one, this one's written by Brandon Thomas. Again, I just got to wait to see what the other two parts are. It'll feel like just kind of like a single issue if you kind of compile them all together. The Grifter one by Matthew Rosenberg. Again, it was fine. It was just kind of Grifter going around doing stuff. So nothing all that compelling or interesting to me. So yeah, that was Batman Urban Legends #1. A really interesting start to this whole anthology thing. And if this is just going to be a once-a-month thing and I get several different stories, I'm cool with that. I'm mostly excited for the Red Hood thing, but if I can get some compelling other storylines in there too, I think that'll be good. So I feel like the Batman books are in pretty good hands so far. Last week we had Infinite Frontier. We had Batman #106. I think next week is Nightwing, and then the week after that's Detective Comics. So I think the Batman stuff is in really good hands as of right now. So what are your thoughts on Batman Urban Legends #1? Did you like the Red Hood thing? I fucking love the Red Hood thing. Did you dislike this issue? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that other fun stuff. As always, thank you all so much for watching this. Take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.